You ready for some scorching hot news about our favorite Chicago fire heroes? Because let me tell you, things are about to get real at Firehouse 51. And we've got the lowdown on what's next for some of the folks we've grown to love like family. Remember how we were all holding our breath at the end of Chicago Fire Season 13? So much was up in the air. We had epic sacrifices, rekindled romances, and a chief finally getting the justice he deserved. Seriously, it felt like a perfect, heartwarming send-off. But as we, the dedicated fans, know, the smoke never truly settles in the One Chicago universe. There were whispers, rumors, and a whole lot of what-ifs floating around about what Season 14 would bring, especially when it came to our beloved Christopher Herrmann. Throughout Season 13, we watched Herrmann chase the Chiefs badge like a dog with a bone. And who could blame him? Wallace Bowden himself practically anointed him in Season 12. But you know, bureaucracy, right? The chief gig went to Dom Pascal. And while Herrmann kept grinding, studying for those tests, a curveball in the final had us all gasping. His big, selfless move, it seemed to put the brakes on his chief dreams and even bumped him down a peg. Pascal back in charge. We all wondered what that meant for Herrmann. But hold on to your fire helmets, because here's the scoop that's going to make your day. The whispers have turned into full-blown cheers, all thanks to a little birdie. Okay, fine, it was deadline, but still. That confirms some huge news. NBC has officially locked down deals with the main players across all the One Chicago shows. Yes, you read that right. That means Dermot Mulroney, our current chief Dom Pascal, is back in the building. And not only him, but our power couple, Taylor Kinney as Kelly Severide and Miranda Ray Mayo as Stella Kidd, are also reprising their roles. Seriously, the faces of Chicago Fire are returning, and we couldn't be more thrilled. Over on Chicago PD, Jason Bay is back as the gruff but lovable Hank Voight, and for Chicago Med, get ready for more S. Epatha Merkerson as the incredible Sharon Goodwin and Oliver Platt as the brilliant Dr. Daniel Charles. They're all set to light up our screens for another fantastic season. This isn't just good news. It's monumental news. We all know the budget axe has been swinging in Hollywood, and there were genuine fears we might lose some of our favorite cast members. We already said a tearful goodbye to Jake Lockett and Daniel Keary from Chicago Fire. And honestly, the thought of more departures had us on edge. Kinney and Mayo's contracts were up at the end of Season 13, and Mulroney was initially only on a one-year deal. The suspense was real. But now we can breathe a collective sigh of relief. Severide and Kidd are set to continue their journey into parenthood. Cue the awes. And Pascal is sticking around as Firehouse 51's chief. So what does Mulroney's return mean for our guy, Herrmann? Well, it looks like that demotion is going to stick around for Season 14. Remember that heart-wrenching moment in the Season 13 final? Herrmann chose not to take the chief's exam. And then, in a move that truly defined his character, he stepped aside as Engine 51's lieutenant so that Randall Mouch McColland could finally live out his dream. Herrmann and Mouch, the ultimate bromance of Firehouse 51, supported each other through thick and thin, both gunning for higher positions. But Mouch's dream of being a lieutenant and staying at 51, that was something Herrmann wanted for his friend, perhaps even more than he wanted the chief role for himself. Since Engine Company 51 could only have one lieutenant, and Herrmann had no desire to be chief at that moment, he made the ultimate sacrifice. He asked for a demotion in the Season 13 final, completely blindsiding Mouch, who was understandably shocked when he got the news of his promotion. But just like that, Mouch became Engine 51's sole lieutenant, and Herrmann, he's back to being a firefighter. And yes, my friends, this big shift is absolutely sticking around for the upcoming episodes. Now, just because Herrmann hit pause on his chief ambitions doesn't mean the fire is completely out. But let's be real, the odds are looking a bit long right now, given everything that went down in Season 13. From the very beginning, Herrmann seemed to wrestle with the idea of taking over as chief, even when Bowden suggested it. And in the end, he didn't even sit for the test. Plus, let's not forget, he's no longer a lieutenant, or captain, for that matter. He's just a firefighter. But hey, sometimes taking a step back makes you realize what you truly miss. Maybe this demotion will spark a fire in him, making him yearn for that leadership position again. We can dream, right?